Located somewhere at the crossroads of spirituality and the supernatural, heaven and hell, faith and fear, this is the Salvation Report.
Salvation.
And now, here is your host, world-renowned author and researcher, Robert Stanley.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be with you each and every time I get to do this. However, tonight is a little bit difficult. I'm coming to ask you for prayers for my wife, who is scheduled for surgery on December 4th, 2025. So I'm recording this November 29th. It's late. She's asleep, I hope. But she has asked me to ask you for prayers that the surgery is successful and there are no complications, and that she is able to heal fully and go into remission. It's been a roller coaster ride this year. I know many of you already know this because you follow my work, and some of you are new subscribers or just happen to come across this particular show, the Salvation Report, by accident or design. I guess it depends how you look at it. Let's consider this for a second. I found this tonight, and I feel it's applicable. God doesn't give you what you can't handle. He helps you handle what you're given. So what I was given this year is a crash course in cancer and Christ. And I'm not talking about religion. And actually, the current medical system is a obstacle course, to say the least. There's a lot of good that can be done, but there's a lot of harm and misinformation out there. So we have to be extremely cautious about how we proceed. Not just my wife and I, but everybody that's on this planet at this time, because I'm sure you've seen in the news that cancer has literally just exploded. It's an epidemic across the planet, including people from all walks of life and all ages, including children now. So just to be clear, I pray every day, obviously, for my wife, for her recovery, full recovery. But and there's other people who've been praying all this year. It's literally since January of 2025 that we first found out the initial diagnosis. And so now, all these months later, after meeting with literally 9 doctors and coming to some conclusions, this seems to be the only alternative to save her life. So let me tell you a little bit about my wife, okay? We flew to California. We're from California, but we flew from Southern Florida, where we're currently living, and this year, 2025, for a couple of reasons. In March, we renewed our vows at been together since September of 1990, but we got married in December of 1992, and it was questionable. The whole ceremony, we just didn't feel comfortable with it. But how we met was, my wife had just started this Unicus magazine in print, and we fell in love. And in 1995, we had a son who is now grown. He's teaching. I made sure that he learned music, and now he's helping other children learn how to play music, which is really amazing to me and my wife. And that was the reason. The reason we went to California for a second time was for our son's wedding this summer in June. And just to give you an idea, here's my wife and I, obviously very happy to be to be there. I mean, all things considered, she was healthy enough to travel. She's absolutely beautiful and loving person. So I'm very grateful to God that she's been in my life all these years. But yeah, we're facing a very serious crisis right now, and the prayers are greatly appreciated if you're so inclined. Her name is IRENE Chen, and that's our puppy. Irene loves Shetland sheepdogs, which I've learned to enjoy as well. I mean, really, they're a special breed. She also enjoys orchids, and especially this one. Last year I bought her for her birthday. These are fragrant. Specifically, they are. I think they use them for corsages for when you go to the proms and stuff. But and the fragrance is absolutely just amazing on these flowers. This particular species of orchid. Anyway, I just want you to focus on Irene here for a minute. Okay, so she's been she's been suffering. Her condition was misdiagnosed for the first couple of years, and so we only found out, like I said, in January of this year. And obviously, we've been working very difficultly. It's very, like I said, it's an obstacle course. It's very difficult to get a straight answer or the correct answer and work with the right people to get the ultimate outcome, which is regaining her health and well-being. So yeah, if you could please pray for Irene that the surgery is successful and there are no complications, and that she does actually go into remission and can continue to live a normal, healthy, happy life and be of service to God, because that's what we both feel very, very drawn to do. Nobody wants to be sick. No sane person on this planet wants to be ill. And I'm healthy, but I feel at times a bit helpless. I do the best I can, but this. I'll tell you. I'll just be blunt with you. As much as I pray and I trust God, watching my wife suffer every day is, to put it mildly, frustrating. It really is. I'm not blaming anyone. I mean, we're obviously imperfect, and this is a fallen world. So, I mean, I'm not, we don't take it personal. I just wish this wasn't the case, obviously. So I hope and pray that all of you out there are well. And I wouldn't wish this kind of illness on anyone. I do feel like we've been fortunate to some degree, and that God has guided us to find the proper care for my wife's condition, because this was not easy. I know a lot of people have cancer and they get cured more or less, but a lot of these procedures are well, one doctor said to me, it's barbaric. The current state of affairs in the medical system, relatively speaking. And here's the other thing. The type of cancer is rare. It's very rare. And so it's harder to find people that specialize in that, and that can give you the correct information, and then obviously the correct procedure. So yeah, it's just been yeah, I'm kind of at a loss for words. So I wanted to put this out on her behalf, this prayer request. And I'm just going to say thank you in advance for all of you who do pray for her. If you have a relationship with God, please um, say a prayer for Irene, that she is cared for properly. Because, it's always tricky when you go into situations like this. Logistically, there's things that can go wrong, miscommunications or whatever. And I, you know, I just feel like the saying that she has ever since we were living in Hong Kong together. One night we were walking. It's a beautiful evening on the water there and Hong Kong Harbor, and there was a lamppost off in the distance. It's kind of dark where we were, but we were walking along the water, and under the lamppost was a little green light that was moving around, and I'm like, "What in the world is that?" And we got closer, we realized it was a firefly, but it didn't leave. When we came up to it, we're looking at it, we're going, "What is this?" And Irene says to me, because she worked in the toy industry for like 30 years. She said, "Oh, that's a Tinkerbell." I'm laughing. I go, "No, that's a firefly, And she says, "No, Tinkerbell." And she has a message. "Oh, okay, okay, what is it?" And she said, "Everything's going to work out even better than we can imagine." And I hang on to that. And when things are bad, we recall that, and it's a very nice affirmation. And I am optimistic. Okay, just want you to know. But I think it's important that we ask for help periodically. Obviously, we need family and friends. And as I've been saying for decades now, if you follow my work, we're all family. There's just no two ways about it. There's only one creator, and we're all part of that creation. So therefore we are family. And of course the adversaries of God want to divide and conquer us. And I completely stand opposed to that. So that's part of my other frustration is, look, God first, family, then country. And there's a lot that I would love to be able to do with my talent that God gave me to communicate information and insights, ideas, whatever. But my priority is to my wife, obviously, and my family before I reach out to the rest of my extended family, so-called country, which is really the way I look at it. It's not just I'm American, yeah, but I've traveled to 59 countries. And everywhere I went, I could relate with those people as though they were my neighbors, because they are. We're all neighbors. We're not just family. We're neighbors too, and I think you could extrapolate out and extend that out even further if you allow yourself. You look up at the stars at night, if you're in a place where you can actually see like deeply into the sky and feel the connection to all those other points of light out there. There are no boundaries except for what we believe or disbelieve about ourselves and about creation, and more importantly about our creator, excuse me, our Father. And I just to be clear, I am grateful, because it could have been a lot worse. When I look at, I'm digesting the news every day, making reports, files that I haven't released yet because I don't have the time. And I know how terrible it is for some people on this planet. And I thank God I'm not in their shoes. I feel terrible for them specifically. Okay, I'll give you an example. There was a huge apartment complex fire in Hong Kong, in the district of Taipo, which is the new district or the new territories just north of the city of Hong Kong, between Hong Kong and Shenzhen. And having lived there for 4 years, I didn't live in Taipo. I lived in Lantau, and it was beautiful, actually, quite beautiful. Um, but the bottom line is, I got to know people. I really felt like that was home. And so this latest disaster, we really don't know how many people died, but it was thousands of people lived in these. I mean, because that's okay. Let me just explain this. In Hong Kong, it's very, very common for people to live in high-rise complexes, apartments, and that's where we lived. It was actually it's a luxury apartment overlooking the harbor. But where these people were living, a lot of them actually were elderly, uh, poor, and there was 3 towers, okay, situated next to each other, and they were under like some kind of construction. So there was bamboo scaffolding, which is quite typical, but it's also flammable. And the construction company had placed nets, green plastic nets over the buildings, huge nets. I mean, ridiculously huge, and which are also flammable. So whatever safety precautions that they were supposed to follow, they didn't. And there wasn't even fire alarms that went off, and it just the whole thing, the whole complex, 3 towers caught on fire. And it's not just a story, is what I'm trying to tell you. It's to me, because having lived there, having walked those streets, having eaten the food, I mean, I feel a connection. I feel a personal connection to those people in that area. So, it's devastating. My wife was asking me, where are those people, that survivors, where are they going to go? And I'm like, I have no idea. Hopefully they have family elsewhere that can help them, but things are not really that good economically in China. A lot of people are suffering. And so I'm just trying to look. I'm grateful for whatever blessings that myself and my family, like seeing our son grow up, and he's quite an incredibly talented musician and composer, producer. So, we're blessed in that regard, and the fact that we were able to renew our vows. And this is earlier in March of this year. She was feeling a little bit better, and we'd actually gone to a deliverance ministry, hoping that would resolve her. We were trying to save her life, and ultimately it saved my soul. And it's kind of weird. I'll tell you more about that some other time, but it's just, yeah, it's been a roller coaster ride. It's not over. And again, please don't misunderstand. I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining what's going on in my life, and, whatever help, prayers that you can offer, I appreciate that on behalf of my wife. And if you want to pray for me too, that's great. But I mean, I've never been physically healthier. I'm just emotionally kind of just, I think it's normal to be in a state of shock and like, overwhelmed. I guess I'm searching for the word, and I that's all I can think of is at times I just feel completely overwhelmed. and yet optimistic at the same time. It's kind of a weird feeling. It's a really weird feeling, but again, I don't take it personal. I know I'm not alone. Unfortunately, there's just way too many people on this planet that are suffering from various degrees of illness or dis-ease, and it's all by design. So again, once I'm past this, my wife is in the clear, I'll be able to share more information with you. And I'm not trying to be sensational here, but the way I conduct research and compile information is different than a lot of people. It's very deep, probably too deep for some. Probably most people don't spend. In fact, I know, unless you're, got some kind of like, I guess they call it like Asperger's or something, where you just, I don't, but I have like a fixation. Once I hook onto something, and I'll give you an example. Charlie Kirk. We're being lied to again. All right. Epstein, obviously lied to. And I have massive, massive files on this, that archives, I should say, that I've curated. And God willing, what do they call that? I'll post it. Post my content, because I'm a good influencer. Kidding. I really I don't like that word, and I don't want people to follow me. I don't want to influence anybody. I'm just me. I want to be of service to God. Actually, to be completely honest with you, that's always been my motivation. I don't always follow through as well as I'd like to, or as well as I should. That's just how I feel about myself. But yeah. I'll tell you this much, God is real. He is supernatural. He's a multidimensional being. And there's never been a better time to get to know him and work with him in his kingdom. So I just, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to express what I'm feeling right now. And in always, thank you very much. Good night. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes God's son, and I say, it's all right. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since he's been here. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes God's son, and I say, it's all right. Little darling, the smiles returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since he's been here. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes God's son, and I say, it's all right. Sun, 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 here he comes. Sun, 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 here he comes. Sun, 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 here he comes.
sun, 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 here he comes. Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since he's been here. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes God's son, and I say, it's alright. It's alright.